I want to talk about the local real estate statistics for both Sarasota and Tampa. We talk about them every month. I've been on the road for a couple of weeks, so I didn't get a chance to talk about them when they came out a couple of weeks ago. But I thought there was a couple of important trends to talk about. First and foremost, and these are for February. Keep in mind the real estate statistics don't come out till the month's over. Usually it's a couple of weeks after the month's over. So in a couple of more weeks we'll be talking about the March statistics. But for February, we had 2,074 sales, an average sale price of $220,170. The average home in Tampa Bay is selling for 97% of the asking price in 73 days, and we have 3.6 months of inventory. So what does that mean and how does it compare? A lot of people will ask that question. So in February 2015, we had 2,125 sales. So year over year, we saw less sales in February. Now, interestingly enough, for a several month streak, we've been having year-over-year increase in sales. This is the first time where we've had in a while that I can remember a year-over-year decrease in the number of sales, but we do see a year-over-year increase in the average sale price by about $25,000, or roughly 9 or 10%, depending on the price point you're looking at. So when we talk about 3.6 months of inventory, that basically means that if no other homes hit the market, it would take 3.6 months to sell everything we have on the market based on the demand that we have right now. Now, interestingly enough, and we'll post these on our social channels, our Facebook pages after the show, but interestingly enough, as you climb the price charts, the inventory, the amount of homes gets worse. The percentage of list to sell price ratio gets worse, and that's a trend that we've seen for a while, but it seems to be softening even more. Over $1 million right now. There are 27 months of inventory and 287 homes on the market.
I looked at this earlier, and anything like from 500,000 on up is only 5% of the market.
Right, very small segment of our market that's luxury homes, but nonetheless. Those are the ones that get a lot of attention. Those are the ones that people talk about a lot, and obviously realtors love to list $1 million homes. So quite frankly, such a small percentage of the market. And interestingly enough, for every one that sells, there's a whole bunch that don't. And we're not New York City where there's that much demand for homes in that price range. So it has if you climb the price charts, we'll have people call us and say, hey, I want to list this really high end home, and for example. We hear you talk about the average, home is selling in 3 months, and what can you do for our home? And unfortunately, there's just not as much demand for those homes, so it does take longer to sell.
But even $1 million above, the average is 4 months, which is actually not that bad for $1 million house.
Well, but of the ones that sell.
Of the ones that sell.
Yeah, when you factor in the withdrawals, the expires, the ones that get taken off the market, you have a gob of inventory. The ones that do sell in a few months, but there's a whole bunch of them that don't.
But don't
sell.
you think in that price range, people think their house is worth a lot more than what it really is?
Typically, yeah. I very rarely do we talk to somebody that's got a luxury home that thinks it's worth what it is. It's always better than every other home.
Right, yeah.
There's certainly an ego aspect to it, and we've got to do a good job of making sure to sit down and educate them on and show them some of the differences between their home and other homes. And look, I've been in homes where it really was better than every other home, But in a lot of times, you're used to it, you like it, you have money, you have a really nice home, you built it to your standards, or you upgraded it to what you liked, and that doesn't necessarily mean the buyers will like it, and that's certainly something you see in that market. But whenever we have a slowdown in a real estate market, and I'm certainly not saying that's happening, although I'm starting to see a few signs of it, but whenever you have that, it starts to happen in the high price points first, and then it kind of starts to trickle, because those are luxury items. Those are, for a lot of people that buy $1 million homes in Tampa Bay, certainly there are a lot of them that don't live here. So
in general, I mean, we're local. We always talk about real estate being local.
Sure.
And a lot of these articles are past tense, I think. Per se. And
they talk about what happened a few months ago.
Yeah, a few months ago. Right, and I would say that if you surveyed realtors and mortgage people January, February, they would tell you it was slow.
It was
slower.
Yes. Yeah, it was slower. And what I'll tell you is, for us, February was better than last year. January's worth, and March was significantly better than last year. However, I also think because the amount of marketing we do, we buck the trend, and we seem to gain market share. When the market was down a few years ago, we were growing, 100% a year. We were outpacing the market because of some of the unique things, the guaranteed sale program,
Right.
all those unique things that help differentiate us. But when I talk to a lot of other agents, they say the same thing you did, that it was slower. And I think when you look at that, does a couple of months mean a trend? Close. Not quite.
Yeah.
If we a
Well,
couple more months down the line, let's see where we are.
I was just going to say, at least in our office, applications have kind of boomed. So I think April's going to be good. So it's too early to say that things are down, because I think it was down the first quarter, but I see it coming back.
And I think again, there's a lot of economic things that keep our market in a different place than others. And we've got job growth, we've got population growth in Tampa Bay that other parts of the country don't have. But nonetheless, Florida, California, the coastal kind of hot relocation areas seem to get the slowdown last. I'm already hearing rumblings in the Midwest from agents and up north of it's drastically slower. They're losing jobs. They're
right?
losing realtors and their boards, and we haven't seen that yet. But